right, everybody, good morning. Beautiful early Saturday morning towards the end of, actually, this is August 1st, 2026. I'm on my way to open up Battleship Iowa. I'm going to put in a day today. I'm also going to go back tomorrow on Sunday, open her up again, and be relieved later on by Dennis, one of my cool bosses. But I don't know what kind of adventures we're going to get in today. A lot of this stuff, I'm actually writing this stuff in a little manuscript, in a little book I'll put together way down the road for my family members to read and enjoy, about my time when I ended my career with LA County Probation Department, and started my new career on the Battleship Iowa. And it's just for, once I'm long gone, I'd love for my family members to get a kick out of it. And but filming wise, I try and keep it interesting. I'm just like you guys. Reach a point in my life, you start to wonder about what's next, what's going to happen tomorrow. All your friends are starting to disappear. They're pretty much gone. My best friend, my only friend left in the entire world, is Bill. He's out in Arkansas. And, he's getting up in age too. You guys who are, men and women who are experiencing this right now as I say this, and it rings a bell in your brain, you're saying, yeah, that's going on. And so hopefully my little adventures here can inspire you or help you to maybe reach out of your comfort zone, and like I had to, and take on little extra projects and stuff. And it'll help you, and it'll help your brain, your mind, and hopefully bring some peace to you. Like I'm telling you, this gig here, man, I absolutely love it. It is freaking phenomenally fun and interesting. And the amount of people, the videos I shoot before the public comes in, so it seems lonely and I'm by myself, standing next to those turrets in front of the Iowa. But no, I assure you, once those gates open, it's non-stop tourists and visitors, and a lot of veterans from all the branches of the military and the Iowa through all her incarnations, and come on board and visit the ship. I wrote down in my little book that I'm putting together, I'm standing on the gangway. There's a gangway in the front of the ship towards the bow. That's the entrance. And when you leave the ship, you leave via a rear gangway on the rear of the ship, right next to number 3 turret. And I'm standing on that turret, and I'm watching the people leave, get off the ship and stuff. And everybody makes it a point to come up to you and thank you. And I ask questions, joke around. And number one, I ask, you guys coming back? And they all say, yeah. There's one gentleman made it a point to come up to me, and he thanked me, and he thanked me and wanted me to pass the thanks along to my crew, volunteer crew of the Battleship Iowa. What of a magnificent job they've done in taking care of her and stuff. And then I thanked him and invited him to come back, and he said, oh yeah, I come back every year. He told me he was one of the crewmen on the Glomar Explorer. So if you guys who love history, and the Glomar Explorer was a ship built by Howard Hughes for the CIA, and they were supposed to mine the world's oceans for manganese nodules or something like that. And instead they were mining the ocean for Soviet submarines. It's an amazing story. Google it if you get a chance. There's a lot of videos of it here on YouTube. But I met a crewman from the Glomar Explorer, and you know what? It's interesting. In the 90s, late 80s through the 90s to the early 2000s, when I used to go up to the Bay Area, up around the San Francisco area for these big train shows, I'd go up there a few times a year with Bill and Roger and Dale and Fred Townsend and all the gang. We'd go through Suisun Bay. and because there's a big giant Southern Pacific Railroad bridge that's still there. It's huge, it's massive, and you could see the Navy's mothball fleet down below in the bay there, just sitting there. And instantly I recognized what that was, even at that young age. I've been a big fan of naval history, World War II history, models, just like you guys. So instantly I recognized that's a mothball fleet. I've never seen one in person, and I was staring at one in person. But immediately what caught my eye was the silhouette of a battleship, an Iowa-class battleship. Well, that was the Iowa. A few ships over, tied up with that group, that little cluster there, was another ship that I recognized the silhouette immediately, just like you guys would. And that was the silhouette of the Glomar Explorer. So both the Glomar Explorer and the Iowa were tied up in mothballs in Suisun Bay, up there in Northern California, Bay Area, for many, many years. And I got to see that ghost fleet, and amongst other ships up there. From what I'm told, pretty much all that mothball fleet is gone. They've cleaned up the bay there, the harbor. I guess it's a bay, Suisun Bay. But that was interesting that a gentleman, a veteran, a former crew member of the Glomar Explorer, came and thanked me and talked to me a little bit about his adventures on the Glomar Explorer. And the Glomar Explorer and the Iowa were both tied up in mothballs for many, 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 many years. We're going to have a long day today. It's going to be hot. As I mentioned earlier, once those gates open on the Iowa and the visitors start coming in, it's nonstop. It's tourists from all over the world, all over the country, families, veterans, current military. Just I talk to all of them, or they make it a point to come to me. We're the last people they see as they leave the ship. They had a great time. The tour guides have moved on to the next tours. The guys that are working on the ship are too busy to stop to talk to people. They're literally working on the ship. And so we're the last people they see. So they make it a point to talk to us and share their experiences with us. We're right there. Security is right there on the rear of the ship as you exit the ship. We stand there with our snappy, actually quite good-looking red uniform shirts and our radios, and we look all professional and stuff, and we give off that impression because we take a lot of pride, a lot of honor in taking care of the Iowa, which is not only a battleship and a battleship museum, but it's also a memorial. It's a Navy memorial for 47 beautiful crewmen who perished. And so yeah, we do take a lot of pride, actually extremely amount of pride. And so we give off, I guess, that aura, and people come and thank us, and I make it a point to stick with them for 5 minutes or more and talk to them. I love that part of the job probably the most. And that with hoisting up the flag, I'll probably get a shot of that for us here. One of the first things I got to do when I get to the ship, start opening up everything, and I get to hoist the flag up on the fantail. And some Navy traditions or Navy procedures I've learned is when a ship is in port, they hang the Union Jack up on the bow of the ship way up front, and you hang the Stars and Stripes on the fantail on the rear of the ship. Keep in mind, we do have crewmen and we do have a lot of visitors that as they reach the top of that plank, they turn towards the Stars and Stripes there and they salute before they get on board. And they do so very proudly. And that impresses the living heck out of me. So I guess they left the Navy some time ago, but the Navy never really leaves them. And it's something very admirable to see, to watch, to witness. Let me see, what else can I add here? All right, we'll try and get the flag hoisting ceremony. If there's some cadets out there in the morning, I'm going to grab them and have them help put up the flag. I'll talk to their sergeant, and I'll ask her if I can if she can give me two of the biggest goof-offs there. and we're going to start instilling a little pride in them. Hopefully they're there. If not, then I'll do it by myself, but I'll try and film that for you guys here. I'm going to be unlocking the ship. I'll probably take the tripod with me and kind of show off that procedure a little bit. It's interesting. We're used to opening doors in our real life, or automatic opening doors when you go to the store and stuff, but opening watertight doors is something very, very different. Looks like there's a big accident up ahead. It shouldn't affect us. We're going to go all the way to our right. My apologies, I didn't shut off the radio all the way, but I got my collar mic, so hopefully you guys heard all this. Some height adjustment here. Oh, son of a gun, man. These people coming up on my rear like psychos, like kamikaze pilots. So it's hard to believe, man, that ship I'm working on today, that Sweetheart, was involved in some of the most amazing battles of World War II. She and the Missouri were tied up in Tokyo Bay as the surrender documents were being signed by Japan, right there with MacArthur on the battleship Missouri. Iowa was right next to her. The initial stages of D-Day, the planning of D-Day occurred on the Iowa when they went over to visit Churchill and Stalin in Tehran, Iran now. Talked about the atomic bomb on there. It's a lot of history. You heard about the part when FDR was crossing the Atlantic on the Iowa, and they set up a bathtub in his stateroom and everything, and about that destroyer who accidentally fired off a torpedo, an armed torpedo, in the direction of Iowa, and Iowa, using its wake, made a sharp turn and used its wake where the torpedo hit the wake and kind of detonated. And FDR thought it was applauding and thought it was cool, thought it was some sort of war games being played out for his honor, for his enjoyment, and it turns out that wasn't the case. So the Iowa trained all her big guns, the 16-inchers, on the destroyer until they declared their intentions to figure out what was going on. That was this ship here. That was my ship. And she put in a lot of hard, crazy work for the country, and it feels interesting now. I get to take care of her. And I'll try and film down in Broadway. I'll take the camera with me. I got to take someone with me. When you go to unopened parts of the ship, they encourage you to take a radio and take someone with you in case something happens. And yeah, they were looking for somebody, and they told me somebody got either purposely separated from the tour group down on Broadway. So I went down on Broadway, and I was on the opposite end. The tour group was way on the front end, and that was interesting. Seeing the line of hatches open, watertight hatches, just from one end of the ship all the way to the front. The rail on top where they had to distribute shells in case something happened. Oh shoot, man! I was trying to get to the Iowa as early as possible, and these guys screwed everything up. Crap. Anyways, we'll be right back. All right, so there you see something happened. Something really big. There's a lot of cop cars there. This is probably a crime scene and not an accident scene right here. Yeah, I smell fire, so welcome to Los Angeles. We are in Long Beach. We've just entered into Long Beach. Or actually, we're about to leave Long Beach. Yeah, you can smell fire. There's a lot of cop cars right in there. Man, right off the bat, I'm counting about a dozen. And the vehicle up ahead, a white van, seems to be turned around. Probably did a pit maneuver on that guy. Looks like the windshield might be shot out. Yeah, there's another car. A whole bunch of cars crashed up there. You know what? It may be an accident. It's all CHP, California Highway Patrol. No city police agencies. So it may be a bad wreck with fatalities, unfortunately. Oh yeah. Woo, that was a bad one. You see that burned out car? Yeah, people died here. That's the coroner. Yeah, people died right there, man. It's too bad. So people going to work early in the morning, coming back from the night shift, going early to the airport or something, and they never made it. Kind of gives it a different vibe now. But I'm very thankful I'm able to drive to my job this morning. New job that I freaking love. Those folks there, that's it for them. They ain't never gonna make it to where they were going. Right back. All right, we're entering the fun part of the drive. One of my favorite parts is we go over a couple huge cable span bridges through the very heart and might of the industrial part of sunny Southern California. Getting back to the Iowa. So when I filmed this trip here on this road, like I'm doing right now, 2 weeks ago, I didn't get to work last weekend on the ship. I came down with a little flu type thing, knocked me on my butt, led to a sinus infection. I'm back, even though my voice is off. But I was about to leave the ship. I was done with my shift. I was about to jump in my truck and come home, and then a phone call, a lot of strange, worried conversations going on around me. I have a real good buddy now I work with, help him out. He helps me out. His name's Henry. We call Henry the Machine. And absolutely love the guy. Actually, he's an amazing person to be around with, and we help him out with some stuff. But his enthusiasm and his energy and the raw strength in that guy is amazing. But getting back. Yeah, little domestic squabble happened there, and Dennis and a couple other people went up there, and Dennis, you could tell, was instrumental in de-escalating the situation. And I couldn't ask for two of the probably more experienced finance bosses I got in Dennis and Bob. And two retired sheriffs with LA County Sheriff's Department, and they welcomed me aboard with open arms onto their team. Yeah, I kind of gave away finally what I do for a living. Yeah, I'm a 41-year veteran of the Los Angeles County Probation Department. About to retire. Might extend it one more year if I get a little promotion type thing here, because it would bump my retirement monthly pension up really good. I may or may not get it, but we'll see. If I do, I stick around anywhere 6 months to a year more. Right there on our left, that used to be the former Long Beach Naval Shipyard, believe it or not. So we're going to cross over the Vincent Thomas Bridge here, this huge monster cable span bridge. Crossing this bridge has been one of my funnest, favorite things to do ever since I was a little kid riding around with my parents. God, what a beautiful morning. My God, it's a beautiful morning. Let's see if my off-ramp is open today. Sure is. So we're gonna get off the freeway and pretty much wind up directly onto the Iowa's parking lot. I see the Iowa to my left. Man, there's a lot of cars there. Holy cow. So usually when you have we get 2 big giant cruise ships coming in here, or 2 is the maximum that will fit, or at least around the Iowa. And on the weekends and stuff, like right now, this parking lot will fill up with cars, which is passengers on the cruise ships' cars. So it's non-stop car traffic mixed in with our traffic. So it's a little extra work on the eyes, and answering a lot of questions from drivers looking for the passenger terminal parking lot. So we're going to be busy today and tomorrow. Anyways, as I get to the ship, we'll probably do a little quick part 2 to this. As I open her up, right now I see her gray and cold, naked, with her flag not hoisted, but we'll be taking care of that right now. That's my office right there. And nobody waiting for me this morning, so we will open everything up at our leisure. Alright guys, we'll be right back, or we'll just do a part 2, a real quick part 2. And well, let me give you a shot of what I can of the ship. All right, guys, we'll be right back.